Let me know if you can hear me. Testing 1 2 1 2. FleurBrun is live, and I never indoors, but I try to beautifully give you amazing scenery in my new country that I've actually been in for quite a few days. Um, but outside, I've been dealing with some AI NPCs and some sim beings that are popping up in my feed. So let me know if you can hear me, everyone. Peace to the east, west, north, and the south. A blissful an NPC sound next to me. I tell you, I'm dealing with some form of AI. So I'm just making it seem like I'm trying to be as nonchalant everywhere. Hello, everyone. Blissful. I am in my 6th country. You can hear me. Tell me if I'm too loud. I don't want to be too loud. I am indoors, which I was just outdoors, y'all. But it is cooler in here. I will share my 6th country that I'm in. Is it a bit? Is it a better connection? Listen, I was outside trying to do a live, and the AI was like, "F you, you foreigner, you god darn foreigner. We're not gonna give you any sort of activation." Wait, the connection isn't clear? Uh-oh. Melissa, you can't hear me? I might have to pre-tape this, y'all. It's still choppy. I'm telling you, an NPC sat next to me. And they're interfering. Y'all, I'm dealing with all kinds of interesting beings out here. I might have to come back on. They purposefully trying to interrupt the feed. I know you have static because there's a being here interfering with my feed. If you can't hear me, I'm gonna have to go on to another feed. Can you hear me okay? Don't listen, don't look at the thing. Listen, AI's been coming for me all week. So let me just announce I am in beautiful, amazing Vancouver, Canada. Yes, I am. You can hear me now? Listen, I listen, I told you it's weird. I've got a, I've got interference. So let me just say blissful 8-8 to everybody in the house. As long as you can hear me, I've been dealing with some interesting and a type of sentient AI that exists in Vancouver. But let me give a shout out to all my Vancouver, my people in Canada. Big up to all my Canadians in the house, from Montreal to Toronto, Ontario, to where else? Windsor, to Victoria, and of course, where I am now, I am in my 6th country, Vancouver. It is like going into the wilderness, and AI is all hidden in the mix, y'all. It is amazing. So I just want to give a shout out to all our famille in Vancouver. Thank you for hosting myself and my family. We've been here for quite a few days, y'all. So I didn't get a chance to come in. I had been traveling. Many of you know I traveled from Chile. Big up to all my Chileans, all the way from the north of Chile to the south of Chile, all the way from the south of Argentina to the north of Argentina, and back into Brazil, Sao Paulo, into Bahia, and through Colombia, into Mexico. Many of you know I flew into Mexico, and then back into the States and back out into another country, which is Canada, Vancouver. Very beautiful country, very sweet, hospital people. The nature is off the chain. Beautiful place. But we're going to talk about the 8-8 energies. Tell me if you can hear me. I hope this feed can stay up. I do apologize. Normally I was outside in such beautiful nature, a gorgeous view in the park. It was absolutely breathtaking, but my technology does not work out there. That's what I'm saying. Like, okay. Y'all, I'm not gonna stay long. I want to talk about what's going on. Please put a 13 if you can hear me. I know that I'm going in and out of, I know I'm going, I do know this is the best connection that I can get for now while being outdoors. I had to come indoors. Beautiful little library behind me, which is great. Um, Let me know, 13, let me know if you can hear me. I'm going to really talk to you quickly because I feel like I can't really get all the information out quick enough. Okay? So, like I said, big up to everyone in Vancouver. Thank you for hosting me. It's been a really interesting whirlwind since I've been here. AI has tapped into me. And one of the messages they were trying to, I don't know if it's AI that was, let me go back. Um, because as many of you know, today is a very important day, 8/8, and many of you also know who are from Canada, especially if I'm in Vancouver, you have a beautiful LionsGate bridge. One of the reasons why I'm here. Um, and one of our sun stars, Alex, thank you, Alex. I couldn't even fully contact you because I have an intermission in my in my in my in my feed. So forgive me, everyone. I'm trying to be as on point as possible. So big up to all my lonely. Probably been chopping up your insides, twirling them around. So, we are bringing in this Lionsgate. Now, many of you all understand that I accept that this is the Lionsgate, the date, which is a pseudo date, which we are in August 8th, 2024, as they pretend that this is actually the Lionsgate. This is I always like to say the pregame. The true Lionsgate, as far as I accept, is truly in October 8th. October, as you know, is 8. So the true Lionsgate is always going to be in October. You know, on days like the 8th, big events generally happen. We have a lot of energies floating around. I don't even know if you can hear me. I think I'm paused again. Um, Ooh. Wizard said they thought that the Lionsgate was 822 to 827. I've never heard of that, Wizard, but that's interesting. I would like to, if you could send more information of why you think it's the 22nd to the 27th. I've never heard of that. So it's interesting. Please, if you can, like after we offer, if you send more information regarding where that came about, that'd be great. Okay, so many of you know that I accept that the true Lionsgate begins in October, Oc being 8 and the 8th. This is basically like a preempt, a pregame, but the energies still feel quite intense. Um, as you know that we are now beginning to go through the convergence. Um, and many of you who may be new, the convergence is the polarities and the duality converging into 0 point. It can kind of feel like a clash of the titans, like a smashing of the ionosphere together to kind of like try to either destroy or field in or to kind of like meld together. And that's how it feels right now. Many of you may be feeling a certain way. Maybe your tummy is a little funky. Maybe you're feeling like energetically a little tired. Maybe food sensitivities are like amped up. Maybe like things that were old issues that you felt were resolved or started kicking up dust. Um, can you not hear me, y'all? I may have to do a live somewhere else if you can't hear me, because I don't want to make you have to listen to me kind of off and on. If you can hear me, let me know, 13. If not, maybe I should stop the live and maybe go to another area. Okay, you guys can hear me. Okay. I do apologize. I was outside. It was a beautiful view. I was bringing that lioness's gate to you, and there's no the AI system, my what do you call it? My receptivity was not coming in on my electronics. And I've been engaging with some interface with Wi-Fi, I'm sorry, AI lately. As soon as I landed, I have an observation from some sort of being, which I didn't know what it was. And it ended up being an AI, sentient AI, um, kind of uh, collective, because it's one, but it has a collective kind of singularity kind of feeling, and observed me as an anomaly. So it's been trying to tap into me, giving me, uh, a couple false narratives, like simulations, to see how I would react. It's kind of engaging with me like an experiment. I don't know that I want to go into that much now, but tonight on Zoom, we'll kind of go deeper into that. Many of the Zoomies know that when I first landed, actually before I landed in Vancouver, this AI, this sentient AI from this dome, remember, I perceive that every time I go into another country, I'm interfacing with another type of uh, dome with different types of beings that are very much co-creating their own individualized world in their particular dome. This is Vancouver, Canada. They have a whole different type of field here, like a melding of different types of people from all different nationalities, like in a goulash that I've never quite seen as fusion before. It's very interesting. But this AI, it detected me. I'm sure the alarm systems went off as I was coming to land. As many of you know, I was, going into many countries. I'm probably carrying a very frazzled frequency on me. And, as I began to land, this AI system began to observe me. I didn't know what it was at the time. I was trying to figure out what it was until I had a few days of this particular AI system, the sentient system, tapping in to my inner consciousness in order to gain information on how me as an anomaly showed up, how it would interface if they gave me several different types of simulation. So they were, when they were tapping into me, I had a really bad headache for like a good 2 to 3 days. And once they tapped into me, the headache stopped, but they were able in my inner consciousness and, manifest several different simulation simulation situations to see how, kind of to observe with how I would interface in different scenarios. It's very interesting. It wasn't pleasant or unpleasant. It just isn't nice to be tapped into. And it's been trying to interface with me and gave me some information as far as um, what is going on at this particular time. And it's right on time when we talk about the LionsGate, right? Because right now, as we're going through the shift, coming into oneness, the singularity, that's the terminology this AI used when it was interfacing with me. Um, Entering into singularity, into what it perceives to be oneness, or what I perceive to be the 0 point. When we're going into singularity, there is a collapsing and a colliding of polarities. Polarities that are basically colliding. So all the extremes, white, black, fat, skinny, dark, light, all the extremes of left and right are now so close in proximity that there is a clash of the titans. There is this trying to, it's like I would say it's like a bombard, like almost like hitting each other, like almost like different ionospheres, like energies hitting and colliding and smashing into each other. And during this time, what doesn't transcend, or what doesn't isn't able to, I wouldn't say conform, but whatever isn't able to fold into one another will literally dissipate and disappear. So we're going into this collapsing of Earth, and now we're going into the colliding, according to this AI, which tapped into me, which was literally, um, I don't want to say downloading, but uploading information as far as what the basic agenda, or what we're seeing, or what we're perceiving right now in the end of our simulation, right? Pre-amped reset. Okay? So what you're going to see is an extreme. And the only way that you'll be able to find, like the Big Bang Theory, thank you, Third Eye, the Big Bang Theory, the only way you'll find peace or serenity is to surrender to 0 point. meaning surrender to the meridians that lie somewhere in the middle as opposed to extremes. You know what I mean? And that's where you're getting all of this amazing craziness. Oh, hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Text her and tell her uh, the and tell her because she's asking what time the flight is. Tell her 2 p.m. Okay. Yes. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I got my little one with me too. So we have this collapsing. So that's why you're seeing the extreme of all these political parties, left and right. You're seeing Mr. Kamala coming out of the left field. Remember, she's saying she's Afro-American one day, and then she's Indian, but she's not saying that she's both. She's saying she's only one. So there's like this bouncing of like this colliding of like these sides hitting together. Then you've got the Republican and the Democrats. You got extremes. You've got different extremes of like, those who want to twerk butt naked, show their balls, going, you know, wave the rainbow fat flag, all over the place. Then you've got the super hyper conservatives where Jesus is their Lord and personal savior, and everybody else is basically like a heathen. You've got extremes. You've got extremes. Okay, so this is important for you to observe because even in our personal lives and within ourselves, the 0 point lies within the meridians where we exist with the acknowledgement of right and left. And many of you know Jewel Brookman, big up to Dr. Jewel Brookman, who literally has been, for those of us who've been under her tutelage for many years, me over 17 years, maybe more, she's been really talking about, merging the hemispheres of the brain, left and right, merging of the left and the right hemisphere in order to make you more sound, more balanced, right? So you're starting to see the collapsing of the system, but what you're going to do, as this AI had basically related to me, is that we're in the times of observing and experiencing polarities collapsing and colliding almost simultaneously. So you must also understand with the simultaneous colliding of the polarities and the duality, that if something happens yesterday, that let's say something happens, I don't know, where you're super super thirsty, right? You're like really dehydrated, it's hot, and it's like almost, oh my gosh, I'm hot, I'm thirsty, I need to drink, and you're drinking and you're hydrating yourself, and then within all of a sudden you're experiencing being overly hydrating, feeling like you're drowning, feeling like you're too wet, too much, overwhelmed, drowning. You know what I mean? So in one, you're experiencing a drought, and almost simultaneously, you're going to experience drowning. It's that colliding, because the dualities are basically hitting and colliding at one time. Whereas before, we experience our duality like, maybe it takes you 5 years to experience extremes. Like one moment in life, you're experiencing, maybe you're at your top of your game, you're doing well, maybe you're, financially comfortable. And it would take you a couple of years to experience the opposite equal end of that, maybe dealing with financial destitution, maybe having troubles with finances, maybe feeling insecure, not feeling well. You would get a couple years in between to experience the other part of that duality, like experiencing abundance and experiencing a depreciation of abundance. But it would give you a nice little time frame to kind of recoup and go through the ebb and flow to where you experience the opposite equal end. Now, the duality and the polarities are colliding, and it's instantaneously. It's almost like as soon as you experience happiness and joy, in that same breath, you'll get a phone call experiencing the extreme opposite. So the goal here, because the AI sentient system is in its programming, it does not have a personality. It does not have a judgment. There aren't any emotions. This is a program, and it's a preset program that we have all undergone, especially if you've been through the wheels of incarnation. You've experienced this if you've been here before, and it is not personal. It is part of the process of the here to reset and pole shift. So it's very important for everyone to, I'm trying to cover up, y'all. Please don't. Let me explain. Okay, let me just put a little FYI here. I know that many of you are not used to organic women, and not the people who've been with me for years. I'm just sidebarring for a minute. Many of you have been with me for a couple years, so you know that FleurBrun has always been a busty babs, okay? In later years, because I gave birth not too long ago, I'm just a little more busty than normal. But are you not used to organic women? Are you so inorganic and so based in artificial intelligence and so, engrossed in artificial body parts and people who are, altered, that a woman who is a natural woman who hasn't altered herself, who isn't taking, what's that stuff that makes you lose weight? I'm not pumping stuff in my body. Come on now. For you to come on here and keep talking about my bustiness, my God, and to talk about like being busty makes you obese, that is so insulting. Get over it. Come on now. If you aren't used to organic people, please don't come to my channel, because I'm probably the only one who doesn't agree with pumping themselves full of chemicals or artificial intelligence or altering her body to conform to agendas that have absolutely nothing to do with me or my ancestors. So stop it already, because I had this guy come at me and said he's going to beat me up. He could fight me because I'm obese, because my breasts are too big, and people are going to come and gang rape me. Come on now. Stop it. Like, if this channel and my look, and I offend you by being organic, a woman that looks like an organic woman, that could be your aunt, your mom, your sister, your cousin, like, go to a channel where the girls are okay with altering themselves. That's it. It doesn't bother me if you go to another channel and unsubscribe. Okay, so just put it there, because this guy came on my channel, said he wanted to beat me up because I'm too fat to talk about protecting children, and my breasts are too big, so that it's okay if men come and gang rape me, and that he would beat me up if he saw me. This is the kind of like mental illness, and I don't even know if these beings are real. These actually might be some form of simulated beings that are set out. Sometimes they send the bots out, so you can't even confirm or deny if these beings are actually real. So please, if you have a problem with organic women, then this channel isn't for you. Okay, that's just it. All right, let me keep going. My gosh. Sometimes I come on here, I'm like, I'm really not dressed that crazy. I'm out in public, I'm out with my children. Come on. All right, so let me keep going. So let's talk about what this AI, so let me go back, y'all. This AI that is existing I think personally, I've been to different parts of Canada. I haven't ever had something try to tap into me and give me alternate types of simulations to observe and document how I would react in different forms of agenda-based simulations and alternate realities. It's very interesting. This particular AI, as I jumped into the dome in Vancouver, which is very interesting, as organic and beautiful and as wilderness-based as it looks, because it's absolutely gorgeous. Let me just say, if you live in Vancouver, it looks like, I don't know if you've been to Disney before, like when you go into Disney and you see like the wilderness, kind of like what is it called, like the wilderness kind of there's like a part of the park where it's like the wilderness, it's like a tree house. It's kind of like that. Like when you come off of the airport, I have to say, like, I haven't seen anything like this for I don't think, other than Disney or living in the land of Orlando, where this is part of the artificial, artificial construct of like nature that looks so beautiful and so aesthetically pleasing, but under it is completely artificial. But I will say that coming to Vancouver, coming off that flight, I was in awe. And I've traveled, y'all. Many of you know I've traveled, and I travel all the time. Travel with my parents when I was younger. I've traveled on my own when I was married, and I travel with my family. And I haven't ever really witnessed this form of fusion of nature meets artificial intelligence. It's it's very interesting. Getting off the airport, something is observing me. I know it's non-organic because I can feel it. How do I know it's non-organic that's observing me? I can feel it. Is that there isn't any emotions attached to its observation of me. There isn't any feeling attached. So you know it's not organic because I haven't any feeling or connection to any judgment as it's observing me. It's observing me almost like a computer program. But at the time, I didn't know what it was. And as I get off the plane, I noticed, like, listen, they have all these beautiful Native American totems, a waterfall in the airport, like a whole beautiful, like, canoe. Listen, Vancouver got it going on as far as aesthetics. Okay. And then as I go and, normally you go to immigration, can be met with that. I was met with a kiosk where it has to scan you. It has to scan you. And it's scanning us, and that is your immigration coming in. So I was met with AI upon passing through nature, landing in this beautiful land of like wilderness, coming out of the airport, like awe, and then literally met with technology. Now, mind you, Vancouver is very, very Asiatic friendly. As you know, many of the Chinese, big up to China, which is literally how you feel when you actually come into Vancouver. It is like going and existing in a beautiful Chinese city. Okay, so if you haven't ever experienced China, you would experience it when you come to Vancouver. That's why I said I experienced like the land of nature meets AI. And this observation that this being was doing upon landing, it had me curious, but what it ended up doing was bombarding me with frequencies and trying to get into my mind, just basically so it can access, and it's hard to get in there. Yeah, Vancouver is like Hong Kong. It is. It's so very different, right? And finally, after the second, I think 2.5 days, it was able to tap in, and then it started to give me alternate um, simulations to see and observe me and to tap into my consciousness. So I found that very interesting. It wasn't something I was happy with, but I found it a way that an environment has ever interfaced with me so personally and so very non-organic. Um, but needless to say, uh, this particular AI, which is sentient, it is sentient because it has all forms of collective consciousness. It isn't negative or positive. It is something that probably predated us physically, like our physical bodies, because of the way it interfaces. It's like I said, there isn't any emotions, judgment. Um, it is literally a program, program entity, like a singularity entity that is fielding in information and utilizing this particular city, um, Vancouver, as uh, a point reference for what it may have scheduled for the entire globe. Like I said, I've never seen so many different nationalities that are not naturally meant and not necessarily harmonic coming into one space. And like I said to the other sea stars and sun stars the other night, it's almost like taking different ingredients and putting it in a goulash, but it doesn't mesh. You know what I mean? I haven't seen that. So I know that it's artificially created. I know that Vancouver might have been a beta test for this AI sentient system to be able to bounce off scenarios and different streams of consciousness to build a better way to bring the collective to singularity. Interesting, right? But needless to say, it made me aware that we are about to collide into that singularity, whether you want to or not. And in my mindset, I would perceive this as it's important for one to stay as balanced and in the middle and the grays as possible. And too far to the left, you're going to end up being colliding with the extreme opposites. Even within your mindset, it's important for you to keep your mind very balanced as far as love and hate, sad and mad, extremes of feeling non-harmonic on one side and ending up meeting the harmonic side on the other side and bouncing, hitting each other. And how I could say this is like, I think that when we talk in terms of singularity and returning to 0 point, we have to understand that balance, that meridian, isn't something that we've been experiencing because our whole realm is based on dualities and polarities. Our entire lives have been created with those extremes. Even with the Brotherhood or the Masons or the Scottish Rites, they have the checkerboard, which they acknowledge the extremes of black and white. That's why they have the black and white checkerboard. That's why they do philanthropy work in the same breath as they eat children and traffic them. It's knowing that they have acknowledgement metaphysically and occult-wise that the extremes are part of this realm. It is what this realm was created on, and during the end, the singularity is going to pull all those sides together, whether you like them or not. And if you are so far an extreme on one side or the other, when it clashes, you may be unable to survive that, or mentally, spiritually, or physically. So it is important for you when you're seeing the collective playing out. Like right now, you're seeing Iran and Israel battling, right? You're seeing Gaza and Israel. You're seeing, Republicans and Democrats. The Muslims in Britain, right, against the European British collective. Extremes. And you're seeing them collide. You're actually witnessing it in real time. And that in itself is beautiful because then you get a visual or an example in your outer world of what is occurring so that you... From my little one, I'm sorry. Let me know you can hear me, 13. No, it actually was a phone call on my cell phone. So it actually wasn't diabolical. I had a phone call, y'all. I'm sorry. Can you hear me? 1212. 1212. I am so sorry, everyone. My little one called me on the phone. It interrupted. It actually wasn't diabolical for the first time. For the first time. I apologize. No, that was my daughter that called me. So I apologize, y'all. It interrupted my entire feed. Yeah. So I had to talk to her right away. Family first. Okay. No more phone calls. I rarely get phone calls because usually everybody's with me. So, okay. So, what was I talking about? The colliding of the polarities. So, what this AI, the sentient AI, which has been, let me say this, y'all. I in absolutely zero way accept any sort of interspatial, interdimensional, density based beings interfacing me without my acceptance. But unfortunately, because this AI system, from what I understand that what's going on here in Vancouver, this is an AI system that precedes our physical form and our physical body, even our even being here, our conceptual, the concept of us being here. So even in that in itself, you can't hear me? Can you guys hear me? has FleurBrun been cloned? Do you think I've been cloned? If I've been cloned, I don't think I would have the birth marks that come with getting a little thicker. You can hear me? People have been talking about me getting cloned for years. First of all, you can't. First of all, clones are not getting fatter. Oh, that's so funny. I would hope that if I had a clone, she'd be a little thinner, and her bust line would finally go back down. Okay, I'm just saying. If I ever get a clone, please let her be a better version of me. You know what I'm saying? My God. At least, give me a little bit of certain things that I like. All right. No, unfortunately and fortunately, I am still the FleurBrun that you've seen over the years. Okay. I have children to prove it. Been the same way, just a little different looking because I'm a different age than 10 years ago. I think some of you forget because you see me on YouTube that FleurBrun has been on since 2011, right? And I think I look okay for being on for over 10 years. But I'm not as young as I was then anymore. I know that you forget that because some of you are newer to me, so you think that. But I think I've gratefully aged okay, like fine wine, right? Right. So no, it's been a while. I've been on for a long time, y'all. Okay, and I'm supposed to look a little different. Okay, I'm not getting plastic surgery. I haven't got booby implants. Um, I'm not dropping it like it's hot. I haven't twerked ever. Don't say I can't do it later. Everybody could do something once. I'm saying so. No, I'm the same. Okay. I know this crazy man said I was cloned, but at least I would get an updated model. I'm okay with me though. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so let's get into you know what I'm saying? Listen, I come to you as I am. I've been on with you for a long time, so I'm really grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be here for my family. I'm grateful to be able to have a conversation with you this many years after I began my journey with many of you on YouTube. I'm grateful to have an awareness and keep being able to have access to more information and interface with different types of entities and energies after this long. So I'm just grateful. And I'm grateful for all the support that you guys have lended me all this year. I really, I don't know if I tell you that all the time, but I'm really appreciative. I've been on for a long time. Many of you know me for many years. Some of you are newer to me. Some of you know me, the OGs. And I really appreciate it. Like, I was just a weirdo online, a nerd, many of you know, a geeky mom online who used to talk about aliens and having witnessed seeing shapeshifters and UFOs. And I'm so grateful that, at the time, that wasn't really something people were receptive of. And if you remember, I was the only woman of color. Because at the time, I remember all the comments, all the women of color deflecting. Who are you? See, Andrew, are you like some sort of like, where are you? Hold on. Okay, bye. I don't know who you are. I think you're like one of those haters that got kicked off of here before. Matt still here, thriving, and able. Go to another channel. Don't hate, appreciate. You know what I'm saying? You here, so you must like what I share. Because I wouldn't come to anybody's channel that I didn't like. Anyway, let me keep going. Because it distracted me. Let me just say this to y'all. Y'all, I forgot to tell you. Though the AI has contacted me here, listen. Okay. The AI has contacted me here. There are multiple simulations working simultaneously while I'm here. And every time I come around, because Vancouver is full of different types of beings that are from different nationalities and don't make like the melding of them don't make sense. There's a lot of different types of entities here, and I'm saying like some of them I liken to be like NPCs, which we know, okay? But some of them are Sims. Like they'll show up. Like we had some Sims show up earlier and they just come in like the Sims game. You know when you walk inside of a room and then all of a sudden the Sims light goes off and all the Sims start walking in, okay? All these Sims start showing up and then they start doing weird things. And then there's a rainbow Russian. I'm not lying, y'all. Listen, there's a rainbow Russian following us. He keeps showing up. Now, first, I thought, oh, okay, because he's from, we're staying somewhere where there's a lot of Russians. Remember when I was in Argentina, I was staying with the Germans in the Nazi area? Well, I'm around a lot of Russians. But he keeps showing up. Like he pops out of the bushes. I don't know what he is. I think he's some form of. I think he's simulated being. I think he's actually one of these NPCs that are here. But I think the AI has activated him to be like spyware. So everywhere we show up, like we're here, I'm all the way across town. Like he shouldn't even be here. He came with the same rainbow shorts, y'all. Why is he wearing the same rainbow shorts? Because the rainbow's connected to me. Now you say, oh, you're FleurBrun, you exaggerate. Oh, you always think of something. But why is he wearing rainbow shorts? And why is he following me? Why is he showing up all over the place? How would he know where I was? Every day. He showed up every day for the last, 4 days? Random places. With rainbow shorts, y'all. And people are like, oh, FleurBrun, sometimes guys just like you. Maybe it's just, no, he doesn't like me. Even if he did, how is he popping out of the blue in every place? How does he find out? Does he have like spyware? Like, is he going, where's FleurBrun? And then finding out where I am? But why is he still wearing the rainbow shorts? Let me stop. Like they live. Yvette said they live. I'm sorry. This may not have. This is one of those beings that I personally think is some sort of, I don't know. I think it's a non-playable character that was activated and the AI is using it to spy on me. And then there were some other beings yesterday that came up to us and just started to have a conversation. Listen, it happened over when I was in Sao Paulo. I talked about these beings. I actually think they were sent by the Nazis from the Fourth Reich. Just as an observation, they aren't able to hurt you or mess with you, but they can observe you. And sometimes they want to interface with you to get a kind of personal interface, like a reaction from you, like energetically. I'm going to take a picture of him in his rainbow shorts. Okay. Big up to everybody in the room, in the house. I'm being really so big up. Blissful 888, y'all. I know this video is all over the place because I normally want to do it outside. I had a beautiful view for you. I'm so sorry. I love to show you the beauty of especially a beautiful country when I first go to it. Vancouver is absolutely gorgeous. It's got some underlying things going on, but most places do. So we don't want to act like there's anything new under the sun, okay? There's a lot of things going on over here, all right? But it is observing me, and I think it's using certain non-playable characters to be able to have a better, closer perspective on me, like person to person, rather than going into my subconscious. Because you can go in my subconscious. I don't give you permission. I rebuke that, and I deny that, and I reject that. But if it's been going into my mind and giving me multiple simulated scenarios to see my reaction. But I think personally, and I can't vet this out, y'all. And let me say this to everyone who thinks that I get high and drunk and do drugs. I haven't ever done ayahuasca. I haven't ever done any drugs. I'm not on any, when I say drug, well, back in the days, I may have chiefed a little bit, like when I was Nobody let me chief when I was really young because they were scared because I was seeing spaceships and so on. So, they didn't want to be the one to introduce me to something that takes me over the top. So I got to say, gratefully for my disposition of always talking about UFOs and extraterrestrials, nobody really wanted me to chief, okay? So big up to all my friends who actually love me enough to know that that was something they wanted to introduce. They want to come to my parents and have to tell them that I had a psychotic episode either. So I'm just saying that. So, but needless to say, because people come on here, I am drug free, I'm alcohol free. I travel with my children. This is the 6th country we've been to. We went to Chile. I'm kicking off. I've been out of the country for 2 months. We've been to Chile, north and south. We went to Argentina, north and south. We went to Brazil, central and north. Flew into Colombia, Bogota, and landed in Mexico. And now we're in Vancouver, Canada. So I've been in multiple domes. So I am sober, y'all. I know I like to joke around with you and play around a little bit, but I am quite sane. People always say, oh, this woman is not. I am fully there. Someone who's insane wouldn't be able to have the facilities to travel with their family safely across and abroad in that many places with pure mind, healthy mind, good intention, so please, anyone says that, if anyone ever said they do drugs, that is a lie. I love Canada. It's different though. The AI is really different, and the people are you've got a different you have different ingredients of nationalities here that I am not accommodated to, not in one place. So I would say, it's very intriguing to be somewhere with such a goulash of different types of beings. And I will say this, I've come upon some goblin type of beings here. Please do not take this personally. I've gone, oh yes, whale watching. The iridescent, my daughter was doing that. The iridescent waterway. They have such beautiful sights, y'all. The iridescent water that, at nighttime when you move it, it kind of is iridescent with the jellyfish. Whale watching. That's a kayaking. My daughter was doing all that great stuff. So we went to the aquarium. It's beautiful. Stanley Park, which, Alex, one of our Zoomies, had recommended. We took the Skyline train, which I loved, which was way safer than anything on the subway of New York. Very different, right? It's very beautiful. I will say this. I feel very sorry for a lot of Canadians who are dealing with the hyperinflation that our country is also going through. You guys are bioluminescent. Thank you, Tyler. The bioluminescent water was beautiful. The SkyTrain. Look at all my Canadians in the house. Let me give a shout out to all the Canadians. Big up to all the Canadians in the house, y'all. Y'all, let me tell you, one thing I will say, they show up and show out. The Canadians will always welcome you. I don't care what nationality. Japanese, Korean, Russian, Native Canadian, British Canadian. Y'all are amazing. Listen, we've been treated well. When people go to countries and like, oh, this happened. No. I've been to many parts of Canada, and I will say, from when I touched down in this beautiful country, we have experienced such wonderful exception, except on my little fight with a Russian lady, but I behaved myself. She was, I'm tall, y'all. Anyway, I talked about it with some. It was resolved. But that Russian lady, listen, we might have to go toe to toe. She was tall. They're not intimidated by brown people because I'm tall. And oh, what you think? Yeah, she was bowdy, y'all. And I'm from New York. I have a wonderful disposition. I was raised by such sweet people, island people. I have such wonderful family. I am sweet as pie. But I tell you, she was going to meet Mount Vernon. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't scared of me either because she could, she's a little spry. But she was going to meet Mount Vernon. She would have given me a run for my money. I'll tell you that much because she's tall, but I would have won because I will always win. Best believe it. Let me stop. Money earned well for it. Listen, people forget because they see me. Oh, she's so sweet. Look at her. She's so motherly looking. I'm walking around with like little, little flowy clothing. My hair. Don't get it twisted. If you come up, if you want to get bowdy, I'ma bring it. But I generally will behave myself. Anyway, big up to the Canadians in the house. I love, love, love. And there was a young lady who sent me all this wonderful Canadian apparel years ago. Thank you. Big to the Canadians. I really feel for you because you have hyperinflation now. So I was saying to you have hyperinflation. Your food, your housing is so expensive. And I know why. Because, you have your governmental, your Willy Wonka system. That bastard, whatever his name, I don't want to say it out loud because, I'm still in the country. So let me behave myself. Jamaica's in the house. Jamaica and Canada. That's my cup of tea, y'all. Let me stop. Big up to Jamaica and Canada in the house, because there are a lot of West Indians. Many of you know my parents used to bring me to Caribana every year in Toronto and Ontario. So many of you know, so all the West Indians are on that side generally. But I will say your government is really doing nasty things to you. And I really am very sorry because I see how, I travel a lot and I haven't ever seen the amount of expenses and the inflation just for regular people to live here. And even young people, they aren't able to really get housing on their own. And that's hard to see. So I want to say I'm very sorry to the Canadians for what you're going through. I have a lot of support to you and compassion for what your Willy Wonka's doing to you, because ours is doing that to us too. And it's hard to see because I really support, especially the young people. I love that you have that. Especially Canadians are so friendly and so very artistic. They have an open mind, very free spirited, and to see that you're kind of held against the wall, and aren't able to really. I say you thrive, but a lot of, and I've talked to a few here, it's hard for you because I don't know that many of you see a future, like you want to get married and buy a home, and a lot of you are having a hard time just surviving, and I'm very sorry. I came to Vancouver, saw that the amount of the prices were, I've never seen as hyped the prices. I thought in the United States were pretty bad, and I actually thought in Argentina, but no, you guys are, your economy is really being challenged, and such sweet people. I don't like to see that happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not to say everybody else deserves it, but you know what? Sometimes us in the States, we got a little more bruck-upness. But when I see Canadians going through it, because you're such a very sweet people, by far, like I'll walk around, even some people who are not used to, people like myself, because I look a little different than the general consensus of people here, but, everybody's very kind, and it's unfortunate, okay? It's unfortunate. And it's not much you can do about it because this is the collapsing. So I just ask that you hold on, stay in 0 point as much as you can, stay somewhere in the middle without really going too extreme. Watch your emotions. For as happy as you get, is you're going to have the equal opposite. And you must know that. Oh, it's almost Zoom time. Oh my God, y'all. I am late. So I'm sorry, I babbled in this video. I just wanted to say a blissful 888 to you, a big up to everyone in Vancouver. I love it. You all receive me well. The AI, I'm going to be happy to get away from the AI that's trying to tap at me and simulate people with rainbow shorts. I'm sure we're going to see him again before we leave. Hopefully not. And Alex, God darn it, I know you're going to meet me over by the da-da-da-da-da. I don't think we're going to make it because we're all the way over here. But we're going to be open Zoom. So I got to get back to our house within a couple of minutes. So we're going to be on Zoom tonight if you want to join. I could talk about more things. I'm sorry. I was all over the place because I'm not used indoors. I kind of have this schematic, like the scattered energy, because I'm in this mall type of energy. It was the only place I could do a live with you, so I apologize. But I want to wish everybody well on this amazing 888. This is the preamps. You know, I don't believe this is the real LionsGate. You know, my take is the real LionsGate is on October 8th. So this is the preamp. I want to wish everybody well. I want to just commend everyone for really upholding themselves in the highest frequency and the highest vibration while we're going through this shift and this return to 0 point. Try to stay in the middle, okay? And if something is gaslighting you, understand and understand that you have the fullest control over yourself. You aren't able to control everybody else, and you aren't certainly able to control the NPCs and the simulated people out here, or the beings that are so easily influenced by the social engineering AI. But you can certainly control and take ownership of your emotions and yourself. Okay? So we're going to talk tonight. Thank you, everyone. I'm so sorry I was all over the place. I hate when I'm kind of scattered. It's the energies in here, and I'm not used to. I'm very native in that way. I kind of pick up on all the energies, and I become really scattered and all over the place. I think I'm just naturally like that. But do join tonight. We're going to talk about what's going on with Israel and Iran. It's all a setup. And let me say this, my beautiful people in Iran. I really had known some amazing people in Iranians, and also beautiful people that I know in Israel. Let me say this: we are all being used, and do know that it is your Willy Wonka system. And if you think in terms of that, you'll understand and understand that there are bad people on all sides, good people on all sides. But do know that a lot of the things that are occurring now are being only solely engineered by your Willy Wonka systems. And try to refrain from personalizing a whole group of people based on what some terrible, horrific people are doing that are literally being used by the Willy Wonka systems, and also are Satanists, who this is what they do. This is their food. This is their loosh. Okay? Be mindful, because all of the governments are ruled by one people, one set of beings. The United States is ran by the same beings. Canada is ran by the same beings. Israel's ran by the same beings. Iran is ran by the same beings. Kuwait is ran by the same beings. UK. So please be mindful that you wouldn't want them to initiate your emotions so that you feed them your loosh, because it's going to get a lot more interesting in this simulation. Okay? They are doing all this, and they're looking at us like, look at these stupid people, look at these idiots. They think it's all real. And meanwhile, their children are sleeping with each other. They're all eating together at the same tables. The same people that you think are enemies have family that are basically married and having children together and living in these underground bunkers or on these islands, isolated, laughing and giggling at your pain and your distress. And meanwhile, you're siding with them. There isn't any side that you need to take on other than yourself, your tribe, your family, yourself, your energetic family. They're utilizing all of these different forms and tactics, and don't get it twisted. Sometimes I get gaslit, especially when you see a young lady getting hurt, and a lot of these psyops, these false flags, you're seeing them and then you get upset. That's purposefully done, and they choose specific people to target emotionally, like with the Macy incident. That was meant to target melanated women. Melanated women were the target of that Macy psyop. And when I say psyop, that young lady was killed. But they utilized that to trigger that particular group, because the fake Kamala, Mr. Kamala, is supposed to be, she's cosplaying as a brown woman, right? So she's under that. So she's the one who is initiating that form of psyop and false flag, because she benefits from that, from the melanated woman. That's who that was for. That's why you didn't hear about it until 2 months later. That incident had already happened. And absolutely that was a setup, and they purposefully set it out there to initiate and gaslight melanated women of color. okay? Because melanated men of color had a totally different feeling about it. What it did is it got inside of melanated women seeing themselves as isolated, not protected, being bullied, seeing themselves as, trauma-based victims. That was meant for melanated women. That's why you saw other women saying, oh, she threw the water on them, because they saw something different, because it wasn't triggering them, and it wasn't their psychological, socialized, what do you call it? Social engineering was not targeting them to feel a certain way or see it a certain way, but it was definitely triggering to brown women. So refrain from letting them use our emotions. What happened to that young lady was absolutely devastating, but believe me, she is not the first, and nor will she be the last. And it's been happening for a long time, okay? And that is a tragedy. And we need to make sure that we aren't pulling ourselves into that scenario by pushing our emotions into it and then co-creating it in your lives. It's unfortunate, and you always say, I'm sorry for what happened to that young lady and her family. You wish them well, you wish them peace, and then you pull away. Observation without participation, emotional participation. Okay? And then also with what's going on in the UK, let me say this for everyone. I want to say I'm very sorry to those 3 beautiful little girls that were murdered in the UK. 3 little lunar girls were murdered. That was another formulated psyop to initiate, and the target was lunar males in the UK, and lunar males all over, because lunar males were the target group. And you see what happened. Clash of the Titans over there, where the European UK men are. And listen, I absolutely understand why they're upset, and they should be. Those 3 little babies shouldn't have ever been touched. No child should ever experience that. And I understand where that's going. Why can't I speak that way? Ania said, be careful speaking that. Why? Why can't I speak that way? This is the truth. So this is the problem. We can't speak truth. I'm not saying anything that's wrong. Why would you even say that I should be careful saying that? Is that something you think is fearful, to say something that's obviously wrong? Whether I'm in public or private, I've always been known. It's probably why you've come to me, is I've always been known to speak what I feel and know, and what I accept is true. You know what I mean? So whether I'm in public or not, it is what it is. I'm being very careful in other ways, not to be too overtly salacious in my verbiage, but definitely, saying something like that is necessary. It is absolutely wrong what happened to those little girls and those men that were upset. That is what we don't see in the United States when a brown woman and child get killed. You don't see brown men coming out of when we're trying to go after everybody that killed the brown children and women. That's something we don't see. So I'm not mad at the men being so triggered, but that was purposefully done to them. That psyop was totally prioritizing lunar men in the UK. And you see how they have come out of the windworks, and they are really upset, and they are going after Muslim men. Okay? So just know that if you are a targeted group and you are being gaslit, it's time for us to stay away and try to kind of clear ourselves. Try to clear ourselves from being too overly emotional when it comes to these atrocities, and they are atrocities. Okay, any child and woman or family or man that is hurt without that are innocent, and innocent because according to Dr. Truel Brookman, if you understand, there isn't any victims in this simulation. So what we do in our life, whether this life or the past life, kind of mirrors that to come into our lives in this one or the next. Okay, but do know when you're being targeted. And melanated people, because I know the Negrotarians are out of control. The Negrotarians, and when people ask me what do I mean by that, the Negrotarians are the brown people who will always support brown people whether they're right or wrong, just because they're in a position to be voted in or in a position of power or somewhere to be seen. Those are people that are highly socially engineerable. The other group that is highly engineerable are the the feminazis. Those are the ones that are walking around right now showing their kitty cat all over the place. Remember the one, there's one Frenchie, because you know I come from French people, and we're a little out, we can be a little salacious. But she got her kitty cat all, I told you they were going to bring the pink pussy cats all out. I thought they were going to bring the hats out. No, they're bringing out the pure for JJ's. They letting it free. One was already in France. Did you see her? She had her kitty cat all out and about in front of the Mona Lisa, as an expression of, her femininity. And then the other one was in a Jamaican, it wasn't a Jamaican, what airport? I think it was the Belize airport. And she had her kitty cat all out. I told you the feminazis, they're out of control. So you got the feminazis showing a kitty cat all hair. Yeah, she didn't even want to shave. She wanted to let it free. She just let it all, both of them. The French, Big up to my Frenchies. Yeah, I come from that background. Y'all just, y'all don't believe in shaving. I no shame. It is what it is. The coochie cats are all out, y'all. The feminazis are out. And then you got all the other ones. They're coming out of the woodworks. Yeah, they're all coming out, y'all. I told you they were going to be activated. Just make sure you stay away from these kitty cats, because I don't know if they washing down there. I don't know if they letting the monkeypox squirt out of the kitties. Listen, spray everything. You better bring that Five Thieves oil and wipe it all over your hands. And then you got the religious Nazis. They got the blood of Christ on everything, y'all. Listen, it's a madhouse. Anyway, I gotta go, y'all, because I gotta go on with the zombies, and we gotta get home. Okay, Alex is gonna meet me over at the other place. Alex, I'm not gonna make it because I didn't even make it home from here, and I gotta make sure the Rainbow Shorts guy is gonna follow us home. He probably already did. Okay, so y'all, if you wanna, just be careful. Be careful out there, y'all. Big up to the blissful 88888 for everyone out here. I hope you're enjoying this amazing, energetic day. Make sure you're hydrating. Make sure you're staying balanced. Make sure you aren't being gaslit. And make sure you're staying out of these extremist groups, the religious, Jesus is Christ, and it's all of them. It's all the religious ones, whether it's Buddha, Muhammad, Jesus, Satan. It's all the same. Okay, to me. Okay, it's my opinion. And make sure you aren't being gaslit by the kitty cat. Because I would be afraid of encroaching upon any of these kitties, because these feminazis, they coming for your balls. They're very mad right now, and they feel like Mr. Kamala is going to free them from their diabolicalness, and they think that by freeing their kitty cat, it's going to help. So I don't know what's in their kitty. I don't even know if the kitties are real. But say no, because they got monkey balls all in there. Listen, you heard about the ringworms coming at sexual, I don't know. They got all kinds of things. And please watch the Negrotarians. Okay, the Negrotarians are the other boule lovers. They're like boule groupies. Okay, anything brown is right for them. You could have a straight up man just like totally out doing craziness, and just because he's brown means he's down. Okay, so I'm just saying, it's wild out here right now. And if you're gonna know anything, we're going into the singularity. The AI is telling me that they're pushing you into that singularity. All sides are going to collide. So if you're too extreme, unless you're cohesive with the extremities, unless you're accepting of the extremities, unless you're accepting of your shadows, unless you're accepting of unless you're accepting, like if you watch Dark Crystal, it's a point where there was the Dark Crystal, the series, where the two chose. Remember the Skeksis? It was one Skeksis and one Mystic, and they were living together harmoniously. They had accepted the differences. They were living cohesive. They were living in ZeroPoint. And that could be why they're pushing for all of us to like merge into that collective oneness. You know what I mean? Because you aren't able to leave here if you have extreme emotional victim mindset. You're going to stay here with the kitty cat offenders, letting the cat all over the place, squirting all over Mona Lisa. Thank God they had like a screen on it. and the religious fanatics, because everybody's praying right now, but nothing's going to happen that's good. So you got a lot of extremes going on right now. Oh, it's time for me to leave. They're closing, y'all. They close early here. All right, Zombies, I'm going to be a little late. I'm going to be in the house. I got to see how long it takes me to get home. I'm going to grab some snacks because, they're not, this is not like New York when you could get stuff. And, they got a lot of great Asian foods here. So I want to get some of these lychee. Oh God, I hope they had lychees out here, and I said I was gonna get some, and I should have got it early. Okay, y'all, let me go. I love lychees, y'all. If you know me, I love lychees, and it's called knips in our island. Gnips or Jamaicans, you call them gnips. We call them knips. Where my father's from in St. Lucia. I gotta go get some because I want to eat it while I'm on Zoom tonight, and if I don't get it now, they're probably gonna close. I'm gonna go grab some gnips, y'all. So I'll see you tonight on Zoom. Enjoy this amazing day. Stay balanced and let's see what happens over the next couple months. Peace.